Hello guys, and welcome to B-Ray's Ultimate Man Cave. This is a episode that I wasn't sure if I was going to make or not. As a lot of you may have known, we lost a great influence and an awesome creator of one of my, basically my favorite top anime shows all time, and anime sagas, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Akira Toriyama passed away, and it was announced earlier this month. And I know we're about the end of March here, and I'm making this video, but this episode is all about Dragon Ball Z. We're trying to, it's the tribute episode, everything in my collection or that I have that's Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball. I wanted to give you guys a showcase of that and kind of just talk about the influence that Akira Toriyama's creation of Dragon Ball has on me, and how was that my gateway into the world of anime, how I started becoming an anime fan and watching different anime shows because of the Dragon Ball saga. So overall, as a whole, you know, Dragon Ball is my favorite anime show, favorite anime saga, so that's including Dragon Ball Z, even maybe the last saga of GT, and then Dragon Ball Super. So all of it as a whole, we're going to cover some of that, showcase you some of my collection, you know, some of the pieces that I have as far as Dragon Ball related. I know a lot of people are fans, and a lot of people appreciate the contribution and just the influence that Akira Toriyama had on anime and different shows that came after Dragon Ball and manga. Want to get started with the video, but as always, want to give an introduction to the Man Cave mascot, Drew the Dragon. This is Drew the Dragon, and being a Dragon Ball fan and being Drew the Dragon in the Ultimate Man Cave, we love our dragons. So here's Drew. I'm going to put Drew the Dragon back in the spot where he's chilling right there. And without further ado, let's get right to it. Now, I'm not heavy into certain gaming cards. I think I got this pack of Dragon Ball cards either from the, I think randomly, or in the VHS sets. Like some of the box sets came with cards. And I think, yeah, I'm not sure. I never really got into playing the card game, but this is cool, you know, that I have these cards. And then, like I said, some Dragon Ball Z cards there. Piccolo. So yeah, neat little small piece of my, you know, Dragon Ball card collection. All right, here's the moment that we're going to take to get a closer look at this shirt. This is probably the oldest Dragon Ball Z shirt or Dragon Ball, you know, piece of clothing that I owned. It's my first Dragon Ball Z shirt that I believe that I purchased. So this is mainly, it's got a lot of the season 1 characters on there. So the Saiyan saga, just a classic grouping. Yeah, the shirt's black is faded. You see the image is crackling, but it gives this vintage, authentic style to it. It is so cool. I can't see myself getting rid of this shirt. I almost want to do a search online to see if I could find a shirt just like this, but more, you know, clean and newer. but this has the nostalgia vibe to it. It's one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z shirts, and it was pretty much the first one that I can remember owning. So all the Z fighters there, looking awesome. And yeah, Shenron is probably my favorite Eternal Dragon. I know Namek Saga, you get introduced to Porunga, or maybe that's, yeah, the Frieza Saga, you get introduced to Porunga. But see, this is pretty awesome. Here's another part of my Dragon Ball Z collection. Whenever I'm gaming and feeling a little bit chilly, I get to cover up with my Shenron blanket. The Eternal Dragon. Like, this is so epic. See more of the Dragon Balls there. Yep. I get to cover up with this bad boy while I'm playing games or getting my butt handed to me by a boss. Whatever. Comes in handy when, you know, on them chilly times of gaming. Alright guys, I know this has been seen in the Man Cave tour video, but this is purely just the focus on the Dragon Ball Z collection, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, in honor of Akira Toriyama. This is a diamond art of Goku. A good close friend of mine did that for me, so that's really cool. That's part of the Dragon Ball Super Blu-ray collection. Like, I think the first 3 seasons. Though I sold the 3 Blu-ray seasons, I kept the box and the pin though. Thought that was just cool. You got a classic Goku action figure back there where he's in the all blue. My Funko Pop of Shenron. I thought that was pretty neat, so I had to grab that. And then you have a stuffed plushie of Shenron. I saw that and I thought, man, how can you have a Dragon Ball Z collection and not have the Eternal Dragon a part of it? Of course, the collector's edition of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Cool. And the iconic Dragon Balls. You can't have a Dragon Ball show without the Dragon Balls. And what is a Dragon Ball Z collection without Dragon Balls? I mean, it's kind of unheard of. I found these online. They are really impressive. Look how huge they are. Like actual size. 1-star ball, 2-star ball, 3-star ball. The iconic 4-star ball. Goku's grandpa Gohan had it, and then Goku passed it on to his son Gohan, who had it on his hat. Then you have 5-star, 6-star, and 7. With 7 Dragon Balls combined, you summon Shenron, the Eternal Dragon, and he will grant your wish. As if actual replica Dragon Ball set wasn't enough, I had to get a Dragon Ball paperweight. Why not? The classic VHS tapes, BoJack Unbound, Cooler's Revenge, Lord Slug, the English toned down dub of Dragon Ball. I mean, I found this like at Walmart years ago in like the $5 bin or something. I'm like, but I couldn't believe this. I was kind of confused at first because it didn't really look like Funimation's presentation of Dragon Ball, so I thought that was kind of weird at first. So I got it home and checked it out. The Saga of Goku. Special features. Even had, one of the movies. Well, I guess it is, has Funimation. Huh, I must have missed that detail. And you got Super Android 13 and Return of Cooler. Now this, like I said, was seen before. Basically, that's the DVD version of this VHS collection. of the Goku saga. So the first Dragon Ball saga, sealed and mint. Most of these VHS tape sets are sealed, except for these Dragon Balls, which you got the Tournament Saga. I think that's Red Ribbon Army, or the Red Tower. A little bit of Commander Blue. Some of these I researched and I found out that they didn't manufacture a lot of these. I'm not sure why. By the time these, I think, we were getting into the phase where VHS tapes were about to be phased out. So I'm just grateful to even get my hands on what I got from the Dragon Ball VHS. For some reason, the Dragon Ball Saga VHS collection wasn't manufactured or wasn't really complete. And there's Fortune Teller Baba. So this is some cool stuff, like the classic nostalgia. Then I knew I had to get my hands at least a sealed copy of Dragon Ball Z Season 1. This is the Saiyan Saga sealed VHS tape set. And this is the second one that I own. I did own one before and I sold it. This one is a lot better condition, a lot more pristine. Now this is the Namek Saga. The individual VHS tapes are mainly sealed, but the overall box set is not a big deal. I've debated here and there whether I wanted to go back and try to do a search to see if I could find a more complete sealed version of this set and then just kind of get rid of this one. But I don't know yet. They've been in my collection for years and years. And that's a few more Dragon Ball VHSs loose. I think one is a movie, the other is part of another saga in Dragon Ball. Then you have the Captain Ginyu saga, which isn't sealed. That one was not easy to find, just those two tapes and in the box set. I mean, you could probably find the tapes loose, but to find Captain Ginyu in a box set. This is my favorite all-time Dragon Ball Z saga, the Frieza saga. Just the epicness of it. I felt like for me, this is where the Dragon Ball Z story came full circle, all the way back to Goku's dad and Planet Vegeta, and how Frieza was just being a tyrant and basically enslaving the Saiyans. I mean, making them do his dirty work and basically, holding the planet hostage in a way, or being a tyrant. And I mean, him destroying the Saiyan race. Goku stepping up and being the Super Saiyan to defeat Frieza, the ultimate evil that ended up killing his father and the rest of the Saiyan race. I mean, it just came full circle. I thought that just the build-up, this is actually the saga that introduced me to Dragon Ball Z. It's the saga that, the reason why I became a fan. And that's very unique for an anime show to be able to grab your attention, or you could just be in the middle of it. I didn't realize there was other sagas or seasons before the Frieza saga. So, they've already went through the Saiyan and Namek, but I caught it, on TV just about closer to the end of the Frieza saga. Just when Goku and Frieza were just about to go at it. And I was hooked. Now, once again, kind of similar to the Namek saga, the individual VHS tapes are sealed, but the whole box set of the whole is not sealed. Now, if I was going to go hunting to see if there's a VHS set that's complete and pristine and sealed, this probably be the one I would go for. But like I said, this one is tough. Then you have my least favorite Dragon Ball Z thing. There's few things, but this is top-notch least favorite. Garlic Jr. saga. If you talk about fillers, anime fillers, Garlic Jr. saga is definitely an anime filler. For all I care, he could have just stayed gone in the dead zone. Me personally didn't feel like we needed this. There were some interesting things that went on, but yeah, it's there, complete and sealed. Then you have the Trunks saga, another saga or set of VHS tapes where the individual tapes are sealed, but the whole box set as a whole is not like Garlic Jr. is, or the Saiyan saga, but still cool. For the most part, my Dragon Ball Z VHS collection is probably one of the most sealed collections that I've known of or come across. There might be other collections that are probably more sealed than this, Though I know there have been a lot of people who have gotten rid of VHSs, the moment that I knew, this was my top favorite #1 anime of all time, and the fact that the VHS tape designs are so cool that they put a picture on the side of them. I don't think this is the only anime show that's done this. When the VHS tapes were a thing, just a reason from a collector's perspective, I thought this was really cool. How all the sagas are represented by the box artwork and the picture on the side. Now these are another complete sealed set. There's the Android saga, Android 17 and 18. There's the Imperfect Cell saga, pristine, sealed, mint, uncut. Now here's the thing where, I wasn't really heavy in being a avid mint collector. My youth years, I bought this and I opened it, because I wanted to watch it. Perfect Cell saga. This probably be another one I might make an attempt to hunt and see if I can find it sealed. This one I was kind of confused about. For my research, they didn't make a box set, like a complete box that for these VHS sets to go in. This is the Cell Game saga. Of course, not all the VHS in this are sealed. I had to kind of buy these individually here and there. I mean, it's cool. I don't know if it's something that I will go out of my way to try to get more of a mint set of this. This story arc, I'm not going to say it was my favorite, but it was interesting. By the time we got to Cell Games, we got to see Gohan unleash his full potential. And I think for a lot of people who are Gohan fans, that was just top notch. Seeing Gohan unleash and step up to be, the ultimate Z fighter. I mean, that was just so awesome, so cool. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I will take Kid Gohan, who has unleashed his potential, over whiny baby Gohan. Oh my goodness. Gohan in Namek Saga was like the equivalent of Season 2 Carl in The Walking Dead. Season 2 Carl in The Walking Dead, I just wanted someone to give that kid a good whooping. He just was meddling and getting into everything. Here we have Kid Gohan whining, crying, Namek Saga was hard to get through, but it's one of those interesting sagas. I liked it towards the end because there was this kind of cat and mouse between the Dragon Balls, them avoiding Vegeta, and different things like that. But this is where it's at. This is probably my favorite version of Gohan. It's from this saga, the Cell Games. Then you have these. Now that, strangely enough, on that saga, the VHS tapes are still in the shrink wrap, but they're not completely sealed. I think they're open towards the bottom. That's the Great Saiyaman saga. Then here is edited and uncut, the World Tournament saga. Bobbity. This whole gag, bibbity bobbity boo. I see what they did there. This is another one that kind of confused me. Like, some of these don't have box sets. Some of them do, and then some of them don't. Like, it took me a while to research or try to figure out. Now the Majin Buu saga, that's in a box set, sealed and complete. It's just the artwork, man. You have this, you get them all together and it makes this cool, this sick little mural. This awesome mural. How could I not? I mean, be a Dragon Ball Z fan and not jump on this. Then the Fusion saga, I don't know. Everybody has their opinion. Mine, I felt like the Fusion saga dragged on a little too long. There were some interesting things in it. I mean, Gotenks had some funny moments. I just think it could have been shorter. So you got uncut Fusion and edited Fusion saga. Then Kid Buu, the final saga and season of Dragon Ball Z. So there's the uncut, and then down here you have the edited version. It's not like I actually planned on having both edited and uncut of some of these. It just kind of happened. Just what I happened to come across at Walmart. Walmart had a lot of the edited stuff at the time. So I think at some point in time, I ended up not having cable or not having cable access. And it's like, man, I need to, keep up or find a way to have the final episodes of Dragon Ball Z, man. I was going to be having withdrawals. So the VHS tapes at the time came in handy. And after Kid Buu, Dragon Ball GT, which I only found out after the fact that Dragon Ball GT isn't actually canon. I mean, there was some interesting things here and there. Baby Saga was annoying. I'd soldier through it, but it's one of the least things I really care to rewatch. My favorite part, and probably the most redeeming thing in my opinion about Dragon Ball GT, is the Shadow Dragon Saga. I felt like the ending, how GT ended, should have been the way Dragon Ball Z ended. I mean, because I think there was a more of an awesome and well put together tribute ending of that Goku. But like I said, it's not nothing for us to really concern ourselves about or worry about. It's there. I got it because they made VHS tapes of it, and just like all the rest, there's a picture that can be made on the side. So I included it. It's there, and it's awesome. I enjoyed it. So from Dragon Ball GT, the Kid Buu Saga, Fusion Saga, Majin Buu, Babidi, World Tournament, Great Saiyan Man, Cell Games, Perfect Cell, Imperfect Cell, Android, Trunks, Garlic Jr., Frieza, Captain Ginyu, Namek, Saiyan, Baba, General Tao. I mean, that guy just thought he was just so bad. That was a hilarious storyline. So yeah, just this awesome setup. I mean, how could I not? I know my Dragon Ball collection is small and humble, probably compared to a lot of other collections there are in the world, but I enjoy it. I think this is cool. Yep, so that's my Dragon Ball Z VHS tape collection. And wait, there's more. So I know we just got done viewing the Ball of Awesomeness, the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z VHS tapes, with the picture on the side creates this cool little neat mural. But also there's the video game. I don't have a vast collection of Dragon Ball Z video games. I can't even begin to really describe or tell you the history of Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z video games. It wasn't something that I was really heavily into. I was more a fan of the anime and the show more so than anything. But this is where it started for me. Dragon Ball Z Budokai, PlayStation 2. Still probably one of Sony's PlayStation's best consoles. I think PS5 might be catching up to it, but it's still probably considered one of the most highest selling consoles known, PlayStation 2. And the games weren't ridiculously expensive during that time, so people would have a vast, huge collection of PlayStation 2 games. This was definitely one that when I saw it and I saw it come out, I knew I had to have it. And this was it. Like this as far as, you know, Dragon Ball Z gaming goes, and this was top notch. I mean, nothing like a Friday evening, you didn't have school the next day. All I wanted to do was just play this game and play through the story mode, relive classic moments from the anime with this game here. And if Dragon Ball Z Budokai wasn't, you know, enough, or, you know, didn't really meet your expectations, then came Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. Ooh. This one was another fun game. I spent hours and hours and hours playing this. It was kind of interesting because it took kind of a board game kind of vibe to it, which made things interesting. It didn't follow quite exactly how the story goes. I mean, but there was fun elements, fun elements to the game. Like, I spent literally hours and hours playing this. Like, I remember, yeah, I got this as a birthday gift. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I didn't play this one as much. I think around this time, my interest in video games was kind of slowing down. I played occasionally, not as heavy by the time this one came out. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. Now, I almost fell asleep on this game, I'm not gonna lie, but I played it and it got me back into playing Dragon Ball Z games. Now, I mostly stick to like the main traditional fighters. I've been a Street Fighter fan, a Mortal Kombat fan, but these got me to next level. And I think it was just more me playing through the story than anything that I really enjoyed about them. And copy of Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2, which this was given to me I still don't know what the story was. I guess it didn't have a case with it, but it's there. I have it in my collection. I'm not sure if it's playable. Kind of, I just keep it along with the first one. So yeah, there's that. And then of course you've seen that the collector's edition is sitting up there on top, but here's the actual game case. This game, I enjoyed it at first, but it kind of got overwhelming with there's a lot to do. So much going on, and it felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere. I mean, there was tasks, all these side things you do. It was just, I love the open world. I love the vastness, but it just came off like there was just so much going on. I think if they simplified it a little more, I don't know. I didn't even look up too many reviews on this game. It's just, I want to get back to playing this. I mean, I did enjoy it, but it got overwhelming after a while to where I just couldn't see myself spending hours upon hours playing this. But it's still awesome. I'm still glad that it's in my collection. But you know, maybe I may revisit this. I don't know. But the vastness and the lot, you know, just a lot going on. It almost reminds me of Hogwarts Legacy. Is kind of like that. I played it heavily. I was really enjoying Hogwarts Legacy, and then same thing. It was like so much to do to the point where it felt like I wasn't really eventually getting anywhere. And though I was aware there was a light at the end of the tunnel, I was like, man, when am I going to get there? That's kind of how I felt about this game. Next up, we have Dragon Ball Z playing cards. So my buddies and I, we love playing Crazy Rummy. You can see some of the cards here. A lot of cool artwork and images. Few little repeats here and there. Shenron on the ace of spades. That's my favorite playing card, the ace of spades. So really neat and cool depictions of the Z fighters. So that's a neat little card set. Yeah, my buddies and I, we occasionally get together, we play some Crazy Rummy, and this is some of the decks we choose. You got Dragon Ball Super deck. With the Dragon Ball Z, you know, Dragon Ball Super characters all on it. Crazy how Master Roshi, after all these years, he still could transform and get buff. So really, really neat. And then they made Frieza, the Joker cards. So you got normal Frieza, you got gold Frieza, Dragon Ball Super, another style of Dragon Ball Z playing cards. There's Shenron as an ace again, not the ace of spades though, but an ace. Destructo Disc. Yeah, see, that's the kid Gohan, the teen Gohan right there. That's when Gohan was less annoying. Piccolo didn't have to go dodge. Ha! Okay, I know I'm goofy. Hercule's here. Yeah, for the wildest time, you know, I was shocked, you know. Hercule was the toned down version, and then, you know, finding out he was Mr. Satan, I was like, yeah, that's classy for a wrestling name. All right. King. Let's see. What are the jokers in this deck? Ha ha ha. Man, that training, Goku, had to endure. King, he had to make him laugh. He had to make him laugh. That's funny. There's my card. Shinron on the Ace of Spades. Oh, so Frieza was the Joker on that previous deck. It's sell on these. Yeah, playing cards for Crazy Rummy. We're going to take a brief moment away from the man cave just so we could check out the anime section of my Blu-ray / DVD collection. This is pretty much my whole anime, but you would notice that majority of what's in my anime section is Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball, Dragon Z, Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. So there goes my Dragon Ball Super, a collector's edition of the Universal Power. Look at that. Of course, My Hero Academia has become my new crack. This is important because the Dragon Ball saga as a whole was my gateway into anime. I don't think before Dragon Ball Z I was really interested or into anime things, but that was the start. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, it got me hooked and interested in anime, and before long I was trying to figure out and learn as much as I can about other things of anime, other anime shows. Like My Hero Academia is probably the main newer modern show that's caught my interest. Of course, then there's the Studio Ghibli stuff. I'm still working on collecting Studio Ghibli, movies. Then you have, I recently acquired Dragon Ball Z in Blu-ray, so I got Dragon Ball Super in Blu-ray. Most of my animes, that I had originally on DVD, kind of switching and trying to get them on high def. Though I got Funimation, which is switching to Crunchyroll. Sometimes, the thing about the Blu-rays is they have the marathon feature, or you don't have to skip through intros or closings and things like that. But yeah, there's Z Blu-ray, there's Super Blu-ray, my Studio Ghibli, My Hero Academia. You got the Cowboy Bebop Perfect Sessions, Afro Samurai, awesome. Then you got the bricks. You got the blue Dragon Ball bricks, seasons 1 through 5, and then you got the orange Dragon Ball Z bricks, and then you got the lime, green, yellowish Dragon Ball GT bricks, season 1 and 2. Dragon Ball Saga, though GT's not canon, so you got that, and we got Super. Awesome. Yeah, I was all about this on top when they were announced that these were going to come out. It's like I knew I had to get them so I could get to enjoy this show anytime I wanted to, anytime I just felt like it. Then streaming services are coming up, and I get the convenience of streaming services. I just wish there was better features or more functionalities to some of them, like marathon feature, or where you just play the opening once, or you didn't have to go through the constant endings on certain ones all the time. The movie box. Yes, you see it correctly. Your eyes are not deceiving you. That is Dragon Ball Evolution. Till there is a more superior, more genuine, authentic, fan-driven live-action Dragon Ball movie, that's what we're stuck with. It's there for historical value, that it exists, though we wish that it didn't. It's there. I kind of just ignore it. I didn't get all the Dragon Ball Z movies that they released in the 10s, which I might go back and try to see if I can get them, but it's not that big deal. I have mostly all the Dragon Ball Z movies. I believe so. Combined with what's here and then the VHS tapes in the man cave, I think I have them all. But yeah, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z take up a bulk of the anime section of my, movie and TV show library. Like I said, because the Dragon Ball saga is my favorite anime series, of all time. And it just kind of flows to other favorites. Like Pokemon, I'm working through watching that. Death Note, Outlaw Star. That's legendary. Like Inuyasha. A lot of this is because of Toonami. Like I said, I didn't know much about Dragon Ball Z until I saw an advertisement on my area. It's channel 11, so it was Kids WB, but it was Saturday morning cartoons. I think this is before, Kids WB, before they had a label to it. They were just advertising Dragon Ball Z playing on that channel. It wasn't until it came on Cartoon Network, Toonami, this block on Toonami is when it got hooked. I got hooked on it. By the time Toonami was started showing Dragon Ball Z, and I caught it near towards the end or towards midway, getting into the Frieza saga, I was hooked. So from Frieza saga on, I watched, and I had to end up backtracking to early seasons and then go back and catch up to where I was. But Death Note, Outlaw Star, Inuyasha, a lot of these end up appearing on Toonami or Adult Swim, Cowboy Bebop. See, there's DVD versions, and then I had to switch over to Blu-ray versions. Yu Yu Hakusho, Attack on Titan, oh my goodness. So I know there's the vast collection of anime, like new and old. Like a lot of people, they talk about anime. I'm kind of old school because, like I said, I'm mainly built on the Toonami era. Coming home after school, and that was what first thing I'm going to is hitting that TV, looking for the Toonami block. Of course, Trigun. You had the tins, man. It took me a while of searching and trying to get my hand on these. These are not hard. Easy to find. Trigun, that's my boy. Just one of those characters I feel like people just sleep on. Vash the Stampede, man, he'll be goofy one moment, but then he'll get serious. Like he knew how to play it up. And how can I be a Vash Stampede fan without Vash Stampede glasses? That is so cool. I'm kind of bittersweet that Attack on Titan ended, but then there's, Cowboy Bebop, Blu-ray, and the movie. Tenchi Muyo, I felt like that's another anime series that some people fell asleep on. They don't seem to appreciate or give Tenchi Muyo enough credit. Part of me, that's definitely a teenage guy thing, because, I'm mainly in high school and teen, when the Toonami block was, playing, and they were playing Tenchi Muyo. Tenchi was, literally leery or shy or, I don't know what it is. Why would you not want to be a guy having all those girls after you and basically worship the ground you're, walk on? I was like, Tenchi, I had that many girls interested in me, boy. Are you kidding me? Eureka 7. I'm not into most mecha animes or animes where humans are in machines or pilot machines. My friend, he's a big Gundam person. I don't know. That whole thing, it seemed like it was getting cliche. Every once in a while, there's an anime where a mecha is involved, or they're fighting in a machinery, or they're piloting. But Eureka 7 is one of the ones that caught my attention. I felt like people fell asleep on that anime. Tenjo Tenge, that was a college thing. I stumbled upon that flipping through channels in college, in my college dorm room. What got me was the opening theme song. I was like, oh snap. As I mentioned before, hey, Street Fighter, Shin Chin, oh my goodness. Laura Bailey and the voice of the character of Shin Chin cracked me up. I still need to finish getting the rest of the seasons. Then, while Dragon Ball Z was my starting point into anime, and then as I researched and got into it, legendary movies like Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Blood, oh my goodness, Armitage the Third, Lupin the Third, I had to dive into some of the iconic anime movies and shows and things that made anime popular here in the States. So not a vast, huge anime library, but Dragon Ball Z started it, and ever since then, I tried, checking out certain anime shows and see if I like them. And now, things that, I've become a fan of that's not here, I've been watching Demon Slayer here recently. I do like that show. Been wanting to try to keep up with My Hero Academia. I know they just released that season 6 part 1, so I'm probably looking into season 6 part 2. And I know I need to finish my Blu-ray set of Inuyasha. That's up to season 6, but I know there's a final act part. I have the DVD version, but I need it completed in Blu-ray. And So Demon Slayer, and I just got into One Piece. I'm kind of ashamed that I'm so late on One Piece, but so far that show was awesome. I don't know why it took me so long. I think it was the anime that kind of, or the animation that kind of threw me off, and just, it's like one of those things like Naruto. I really couldn't get into Naruto, but I did start it. Or Bleach. I really want to try to get back into Bleach, but I mean, season 1 is probably my favorite season in Bleach, just because that opening song. But there's a lot of other anime shows that I may have started or like tried to get into and just haven't finished, or it hasn't, connected with me. But here it is, my anime section of my Blu-ray and DVD library. And as you could tell, a good portion chunk of it is Dragon Ball. So I want to go ahead and end this episode with a tribute drawing. I'm also an artist, so I do draw and paints and do fine art and visual art. And this is my tribute to Akira Toriyama. And the idea of it, it's a depiction of me standing next to Goku, who is my favorite Dragon Ball character of all time. And it's like Goku's comforting me and telling me it's okay, B-Ray. We're all going to miss him. But he left behind so many great adventures for all of us to enjoy. Thank you. And then you have the 1 star, 2 star, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that's my tribute piece.